Welcome to the After Chat. I'm Michael.
I'm Madison.
And today we're talking about discovering God's will and discerning it for our lives.
Ooh,
You ready?
I am.
Let's do it.
Welcome to the After Chat. Real questions. Real talk. Real life.
So what's been the highlight of your week thus far?
Well, so far it's really just the way that I am getting to start my mornings because we're at the very beginning of 21 days of prayer around here. So it's only been 2 weekdays so far at the time of recording that I've gotten to experience, but I'm confident that it will continue to be the highlight throughout this week and the next two. I really enjoy not just getting to start my day off with prayer, but then also it's so much fun to like start your day off seeing a lot of the people that are like in your sort of inner circle and just getting to start your day surrounded by some of your favorite people. It's awesome.
Well, I mean, mine sounds kind of silly in comparison now. I got a really good crack in my neck the other day.
I think it's still a valuable highlight.
My neck doesn't crack very often. And it was just really tight and it was kind of stiff and I got it to crack really nicely and it felt so good and the level of relief was just fantastic. And I laid there. Well, I was sitting when it happened and I just sat there and just took it in and just soaked in that moment. And I'm still cruising on it. Like it just felt so good.
Have you ever been to a chiropractor?
I haven't. I
bet you would like it.
I don't know if I could relax. Like I've watched the videos where like they mic the people up so you can hear it.
It gets intense.
I don't know if I could relax enough to let them just press and jerk and
it'd be hard.
Twist. I don't know if I could just. I mean, someone's like they get you in like almost like a headlock situation and say just breathe and relax. Like I don't know if I could do it.
No, I would struggle with it. Maybe if that it was something along my spine or something that might be easier to relax if I'm just laying on my front, but. Yeah, if somebody's got their head, got your head in their hands, and they're about to twist it, how do you relax?
Yeah, I don't know. If I had like a muscle relaxer or a sedative or something.
Then you would be.
I feel like that would probably be the. All right, we need like a tranquilizer situation because this dude's just not relaxing. I really feel that's the only way I could let him do it.
That's fair.
Have you been?
I haven't, but I'm loosely intrigued. I have strong feelings about being touched by strangers. I don't really ever I'm not interested in going to get like a massage or like even like getting a manicure. I'm like, why are you holding my hands? Like,
well, I mean, they have to do the job.
I know they have to, but still, I'm like, don't look at me, don't touch me. So that's really my only hesitation. Is just it's I don't know, it's uncomfy. But if it was a chiropractor that I like knew personally.
Yeah.
I would have a way easier time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be quite the cruel joke. Like if you go to a salon and you say, I would like my nails painted, please. And then every time they go to grab you, you just pull your hands away.
Yeah.
Fire engine red, please. No.
Nope, not today.
Okay. So, yeah. So let's transition.
Yeah.
So what's a decision that you made that felt right in the moment, but turned out to just not really work out like you thought it would?
So when I was younger, I was at a job that I worked at for a really long time, and I had accrued a lot of personal leave. And when I left that job to come work here full time, I used up as much of it as I could, but towards the end I still had some left over. And the payout of that personal leave was like pretty much the equivalent to like a significant amount. It was a significant amount of money, more fun money than I had ever been handed up until that point.
There you go.
And I wanted to try and get something that would really set me up for success in my new job that I had taken. And so I got myself an iPad Pro. I love my iPad Pro. It is so helpful. It's, at this point, it's like almost 5 years old and it's still like kicking, doing great. The mistake that I made was I got the Magic Keyboard for it. And that was also fairly expensive and, in my opinion, waste of money. I think I've talked about this before on the podcast that and I'm passionate about how unnecessary the Magic Keyboard was and how much money I spent on the Magic Keyboard that in the moment, I think it was like $400 or something.
I mean,
I could be exaggerating, but it was for sure over 200. I can't remember how much they were, but it's a Bluetooth keyboard for your tablet. That's all, with a trackpad. There you can get like $50 ones on Amazon.
My one I have is $20.
Literally, it was so pointless. And I was convinced that this was the thing that was going to help me utilize this new tool. And I'm like, it's an investment in my future. And it was like just a really stupid, unwise, unresearched decision. It cuts me deep still.
No,
I've talked about it twice for a reason.
It's in
there. It
there.
cuts me deep. Yeah.
No, we all have those. I've got one I'm about to vent on. So, a 2007 Chevy Suburban was a nightmare vehicle. And had I asked anybody, is this a vehicle that I should get? They all would have said no. Now, they did after the fact.
Because of the kind of car or because of something about that one in particular?
It was about a series of vehicles with that particular motor. And so I would always park in the rear of a parking lot because sometimes if I turned it on, I was going to blow blue smoke all over the place.
Oh.
It's something with I don't know. I'm not a mechanical person, but I could bring my friend Mike in here and he would tell you everything that was wrong with that car because he worked on it a lot for me. And that vehicle, I remember I was so happy. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I got all this seating. I'm going to be taking the girls all over the place, hauling all the sports stuff, all their friends. And I did all those things. And that part was awesome. The oil situation in that thing and the constant blowing of smoke and the constant putting oil in and checking it all the time because it would stressful. Leak out because there was seals messed up in there. And then, I would start my car and it would just a plume of smoke just all over the place.
Not fun.
But it felt so good in the moment, getting that car. I'm a very sentimental fella. Whenever I try to imagine all the things with the family and the people and all the things doing the stuff. Same thing. Another one would probably be I had this vision of having a fruit orchard in my backyard at my previous home. Went to the store, bought 8 trees, spent an insane amount of money on all these trees, and then come to find out there was a fire blight thing, so the trees wouldn't actually. Those type of trees struggle to grow here in the county.
Oh.
And boom! I had this dream of me and my girls in a basket, picking all this fruit and these pears and these plums and.
That's sad.
And fire blight, boom, killed them all.
That's a bummer.
Those are things that felt right in the moment.
Yeah. I had a similar situation with one of my previous cars, only mine was coolant. I could not keep it full of enough coolant. And there were so many times where I would have to pull, because at the time I was working in Amelia, back roads in Amelia, all of a sudden your car starts overheating. You got to pull into someone's driveway. You don't know what they're going to greet you with. And you have to get out and pull, just top off your coolant to make it home. It was stressful. Yeah. I get that.
No, those are things that you only learn about them after the fact, especially if it's something that's a known issue with that vehicle.
Yeah. Thankfully, there are guys like Mike in the world who will help guide our purchasing.
And are honest. So now before I buy any vehicle, what do you think of this car?
Yeah. I did the same thing before I bought my Honda Civic. I sent him the screenshot. I was like, what do you think? Yeah.
So very helpful. And he's honest.
Yes.
So
good guy. We love Mike.
So when we're going to be talking about trying to seek God's will and hear his voice and discern what he might be prompting us to, when was the last time that you heard from him?
So this was just just a couple nights ago. It's a little bit of like a small detail, but I feel like the more often that you are willing to open yourself up to the small ways that God might be speaking to you, the more confidence that you have in
Yes.
the big ways. So, it was a small little way, but I'm not. I, don't disqualify it based on how small of a nudge it was. But it was really just a specific thing that I really felt very strongly like I needed to encourage my husband in, and it was very meaningful. The timing was like perfect timing for him, and he was like, "How did you even know that I needed to hear that?"
Mm.
That kind of a thing. And then a similar situation around the same time, just a couple days ago, I reached out to someone who has been around here at our church, and I checked on them, asked them about if they would be interested to meet up for coffee, and the timing of getting to meet her and hear about her interest in uh, getting to explore the ways that God is calling her to embrace new seasons, all that good stuff. It was literally just the perfect timing of her having heard something from someone else that prompted her to be open to, yeah, let's sit and talk about how I might be able to
Yes.
get involved. It was a really cool experience.
No, I don't think. I think you really hit the nail on the head with something there. The more that we are willing to lean into those small prompts and nudges,
Yeah.
because those are usually the ones that because we're so distracted, or we just overlook things, or we're just not paying attention, or we're just not trying to be observant of what's going on around us. Like, those are the easy things to miss. But the more that we try to keep our hearts soft and our minds open to those things, the more easily it is to discern it
Mm. Yep.
whenever something big might be going off,
Yeah.
because you're constantly training yourself to look for those things.
Yep.
And
Or something that maybe doesn't like make a ton of sense
yes,
with like your limited. Obviously, if you feel like God is nudging you towards something that goes against God's character, like that is a different category.
Yeah.
This is just maybe it's a little confusing. The more that you follow through with those moments, the more confidence you find.
like, I mean, just reaching out to somebody, like, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to reach out and let this person know that I'm thinking of them and I
Mhm.
prayed for them today, and just say, hey, would you like, I mean, I typically don't do that with so and so, but I feel led to do it right now. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a negative thing.
Yeah.
So I
Yep.
love that.
Good stuff.
Probably the most recent one for me was probably just me taking some things that I was anxious about and feeling concerned about, and wondering how is this certain thing going to happen.
Mm. Hmm.
Getting everything ready for my oldest to go to college.
Mm.
And the financial aspect of that and all of the things. And had been praying on that, and just talking to God about it. And for whatever reason, like, whenever I would go to him in prayer, I was always initially very anxious and very worried. And I'm someone that is prone to ruminating and stewing on things. I think I know that I've mentioned that here before. But then I would always come out of it just like with a nice sense of peace, like, hey, like, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And then a couple weeks ago, like right before the early bird service for Christmas Eve, like I got an answer for that, and was just like, my stars. Like,
Aw.
everything just kind of worked out and aligned, and everything is going to be okay on that front.
Good.
But it's whenever I'm talking to him, like, sometimes I'll just get like a clear thought.
Yeah.
Something just cuts through all of the spinning
Yep.
that's going on in my mind.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, and so if you've never taken that type of prayer to God, I really want to encourage you to do so. Lord, this is all the things I'm scared of or I'm anxious about. Usually if you stay in that space long enough and just let those emotions ride over you in his presence, not always, but a lot of the time, something will cut through it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
I like that one. So,
Yeah.
all right. So that's where we're going to be kind of the direction we're going to be going in. So we have a couple scriptures that we're going to look at. This one here, Romans 12, verses 1 through 2. Therefore, I urge you, brother and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. This one, I had a lot of bad habits whenever I first came to the Lord. Not saying that I've broken all of them, but wrong thinking was definitely one of them. And but what I like about this is that it starts with surrender and not direction.
Yeah.
For me, it's not. If I just say, I need to act this way, my natural nature, because I am kind of a contrarian by nature, and I'm also...
Sorry.
All right, pot and kettle here.
Yeah, you're right. I couldn't help it.
It starts with surrendering my own wants and things. So, like the first time that I ever felt prompted to go out of my way to do something nice, like that's not my nature. But it is his.
Yeah.
So if you start by surrendering your preferences or your natural way of doing things, because some of them are not aligned with what the Lord would want. So Paul says to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice. Finding God's will begins by surrendering yourself to him, your desires, your plans, your natural inclinations, before asking him to reveal the next step. Because he's not going to force you. No,
he famously doesn't do that.
He really doesn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes it would be easier if he just.
He sure would be.
But look at what's shaping your thinking. So for me, a lot of that, the way that started for me was like I cut out a lot of the stuff a lot of the content I was looking at, a lot of the things that I would keep on in the background. But nature abhors a vacuum. If you just cut all sorts of stuff out, you have to fill it with something.
Yeah.
Because I will fill it with my own inner critic who's brutal. And so what works for me, to shape my thinking was just being a lot more intentional of spending time in God's word, surrounding myself with voices that were trying to point me towards him.
Yeah.
Do not conform to the pattern of this world. So what voices are influencing you? Is it culture? Is it fear? I'm famously motivated by fear and comparison. But God's will becomes more clear when those things lose their grip.
Yeah, that's very true.
And let God reshape your mind daily. So seek to make your thoughts more like his. I would routinely and still do pray for God to let me see the people the way that he sees them.
Yeah.
It helps me be a lot more empathetic and sympathetic and not go right to me first because a lot of people, including myself and, most of us are selfish in some ways. Not all the ways, but there's always something. But the Lord isn't. And so helping to see people the way that he sees them has always been a prayer that's in my mind, especially when I'm interacting with people and I'm, trying to stay present and grounded in the moment with them.
Yeah.
So that's something that you can do and then test it. Paul says we'll be able to test and approve God's will. And as we walk with him, we'll be able to learn and recognize what is good, pleasing, and perfect. And I think Madison already really hit on that a few moments ago. The more that you get comfortable leaning into those things on the small ones that are very easily overlooked, but made a huge difference in the lives of the people that you reached out to.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Those are just some things that's one way. That's one of the verses in the way that I've kind of used it to help guide me in this process.
I like it. That was a great breakdown of one of my favorite scriptures. There's just something very comforting about the way that Paul lays it out, almost like, yeah, this is like common sense. Like this is the recipe for how you can get to where you want to be, and I find that comforting. I'm gonna read two shorter scriptures. And just kind of share a little bit about what I feel like they're kind of pointing me towards. So the first one is Psalm 119, and this is verse 105, and it says, "Your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path." And the reason why I'm bringing this one up is, as far as like your discerning God's will goes, I think that it is critical for us to be able to even know where is the path at in the first place. You might be listening for where is this path leading me, but if you can't see what's going on and you're just trying to listen, you're gonna get really confused and lost. But the illumination, being able to see, is a tool that we are given, and that is reading the Bible, the word that we have been given. It teaches us about God's character, so we're able to discern, does this thing that I feel like I am being called or pushed towards, or there's something burning in me, some action that I need to do, does it align with God's character? And how do you know that? By reading in the Bible about what his character is. And it's just in general too, I feel like the more that you are able to like consciously put yourself in a spot where you're like, hey, I don't know everything, the more that you are able to listen for where you might be being prompted. Does that make sense?
No,
like,
it does.
If you're not interested in learning anything more about God, then what does he have to reveal to you about where he wants you to go?
Yes.
So it's like two sides of the same coin, in my opinion.
And one of the things, I think a lot of people get stuck on this, and I know that it was true for me, so I'm just going to project this onto everybody else.
We'll see.
So like one of the original barriers to me from really spending time in the Word was, well, I don't know what to do with this, so blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to dismiss it.
Yeah.
And why even bother reading it if I'm not going to understand everything right out of the gate?
Understandable
And
question, yeah.
And so, but what I ended up finding, the more that I was just like, you know what? Like, whenever I became like just determined that I'm kind of like, I'm not going to let you go until you give me a blessing kind of deal.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep coming back. Even if I didn't, and it's funny because the first time that I decided I was going to do this, like I had a stack of journals and I would just fill them out with whatever I was taking away or whatever I thought it was going to mean. Mm-hmm. And in some of those, I just wrote, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not, why lie in your own journal? So I don't know. But what I ended up finding was like sometimes even if I didn't understand something in the moment, it was still because I was trying to steep myself in it. It would come back later.
Yeah.
But I had it to pull from because it was sitting in there in the back of my mind, and somebody would say something and then it would illuminate it in some way. Or I would be able to connect it with something that I previously didn't understand.
Man.
So if you don't understand something out of the gate, keep going. Don't let that be a deterrent. If you're writing in a journal, write the date, what you just read, and put, I don't know.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah. We can call it's fuel for your lamp.
Yes.
That you might not need to use right away, but you're storing it for later.
That's nice.
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
But when you were love it. When you were reading that though, it's something else popped into my mind. This is Proverbs 9:10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Like the fear of the Lord just means like an acknowledgement, a submission.
Yes.
Like, God, I don't have all of the answers. I know that you do. I'm going to keep putting myself at your feet until I begin to get the understanding and the knowledge.
Sounds pretty wise to me.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
I don't know. that hearing you talk about that verse just prompted that.
I like it. The next one that I had this is my last scripture I'm going to read. This is Isaiah chapter 30 verse 21. And this one says, "Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, 'This is the way, walk in it.'" I love this scripture. I think the thing that impacts me about this scripture in particular with, talk about God's will and discernment really is just you can trust that you will be pointed in the direction that you need to go. I feel like that's half the battle, is just knowing it'll come at the right time. That way you're not searching and what's this, and trying to grasp at straws and figure out what is next. What does God want me to do next? Just breathe deep and know that wherever you're headed, God will communicate with you.
Yes.
You just have to stay open, and you have to stay in the Word to be able to understand what is being shared with you. But He will, in the best timing, point you in the direction that you need to go.
And as long I think you hit something that was really key there that I want to beat down for a moment. Like, you have to stay open.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that means you keeping the line of communication open with the Lord.
Yeah.
And talking with him. And I mean, maybe it's just because we're all full of 2 days of 21 days of prayer.
Yeah.
but you have to keep that line of communication open and let him know, Lord, I'm seeking to honor you in this thing. I'm seeking to follow you in this thing. I'm seeking to know your will and how I can point others towards you and glorify your name here, regardless of what it is. Because if you keep knocking, he is faithful. He is going to open it. He's not going to leave you high and dry.
Yeah.
But you have to stay open, like Madison mentioned there.
Yeah, good stuff.
So before we pick up the back half of this conversation, check out this clip.
I don't know what God is calling you to do, but I know that you and I will never have all the details of his plan. God just doesn't operate that way. Faith doesn't operate that way. Followers of God have to trust him to speak into our lives along the journey. Like a kid skiing on a leash, our Father behind us, telling us where to turn and what to do and when to slow down and when to stop. And every once in a while we'll yell back, "Dad, are you still there?" And he speaks, "I'm here. I got you. You just keep going."
I love that from Brian because it's right there with the psalm that you read.
And also just beautiful imagery.
Yes.
It's the whole message is good. He sets up why he's using the kid on the leash metaphor.
Yes.
And the imagery is so cool to me.
No, I love that one. And so what we wanted to be able to do here, because we also don't know what God is calling you to do.
Nope.
But I do know that you and I will never have all the details of the plan. God just doesn't operate that way. And we do have to trust him. But there are some things that we can do to try to put ourselves in a position to be able to discern what it is that he's calling us to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're feeling prompted or you're feeling led, does God's word support it? Madison hit it really good earlier with, is it in line with his character? Do you sense conviction or peace with it?
Which takes some time.
Yes.
Sometimes what I think I feel conviction about is actually just my anxiety.
Yes.
And I have to work through my own junk to then find the peace.
Yes. And sometimes that's what it is. God is calling you to do some work on yourself and unpack some things that maybe you haven't dealt with properly. And so that's sometimes whenever I'm reading something and I can get hit with a oof.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll get upset by it because it's something that I thought maybe was settled, but I'm finding out just like that Suburban or Madison
stinking magic keyboard.
It's still a sore spot, and we need to, before we do anything, we need to submit that whatever that is to God first.
Great callback to your points earlier. I love that.
I mean, that's just sometimes how it works.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm calling you to something, but you need to you need to sort this out and get
Mm-hmm.
set yourself apart, get consecrated, get yourself in a position to where you can do the thing. So maybe you need to forgive somebody, or you need to forgive something, or maybe you need to forgive yourself for something, because sometimes we're good at giving grace and forgiveness to other people, but not always ourselves. Um,
Yep.
uh, what does your inner circle say?
Yeah, that's a big one.
Like, if you're feeling prompted to something, I have a group of people that I can run it by and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? Will you pray on this for me
Mm-hmm.
and help me discern how I'm feeling led to do this? I know if I'm praying for it, and I got a couple other people praying for it,
Yeah.
and
Or like even, sometimes it's not quite so much, hey, would you pray for me so that I can discern God's voice? I feel it could be, I feel like I've discerned this from what God's talking to me. Would you pray and ask God to confirm it with you? Like
yes,
sometimes it can be just straight up like, hey, you ask him. You ask it
yes,
not for me, but like you
no,
ask him too.
that's an excellent point.
I think both are really valuable. What does your inner circle say just by their own wisdom and what they know, depending on, how you've set your inner circle up. What does your inner circle say personally? But if your inner circle is also wanting to pursue understanding God's voice and being able to discern his will, they should be able to do this for you. And it's really, really fun to do
Yes,
for other people to be like, hey, God, my friend is thinking this. Would you confirm it with me? It's just a fun,
yes.
I don't know. It's very bonding.
And it adds another layer of affirmation to whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you should always, you need to, if you don't have people that you can run things by, that might be a good first step.
Absolutely.
Develop some relationships with folks, so that way they can speak into it. And that can be intimidating. It was for me at first.
It is, yeah. Worth it, though.
Yes, it is. And then, will this lead to more Christ-likeness?
That's a good one.
Is this going to help you develop into a more Christ-like person? If the answer is no, then you really might want to reconsider
Yeah.
whatever the thing is.
Yeah, that's a good.
Is this going to help you grow in your faith?
I feel like that's a great, all-encompassing question to ask. It feels very open-ended. Just really, there's some questions that you can tell are just really designed to get you to ponder, and I feel like that is one of them, because then not only are you thinking through this specific topic, God, is it leading me closer to you? But you also get to start to break down, well, what is looking more like you look like for me anyway?
Yes.
So you kind of get to do both at the same time. And I think starting off by figuring out if your inner circle is capable of helping you listen to God's voice is a really important first step. If not, go find some people. But then also be willing to just sit and think and ponder, really.
Yeah. I mean, and that is a good deal of
Contemplate.
discerning God's will in the first. Like for me, when I'm really pondering on something and really trying to suss out what it is He's prompting me to do, whenever I start to feel like an itch to go do something, I need much quiet time
Mm-hmm.
to do it.
Yep.
But being vulnerable and going with people and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm feeling. This is where I feel like the Spirit is nudging me whenever I'm spending time in the Word or I'm talking with God. What say you? Is this something do you feel like this is a trajectory that you've seen God pointing me towards over the last whatever period of time?
Yeah.
Would you, like you said, I love that. Would you please pray and ask God to affirm that in you? Like, hey, Madison's is getting ready to do this thing. Are you down with that, Lord?
Yeah.
And then go from there. And then ultimately, will this lead me to be more Christ-like? Because for me, I might feel prompted to do something, but am I going to do it in a way that reflects Him? That's where.
That's good.
That's
Yeah.
sometimes where the rubber meets the road.
Honestly.
And that's where I've seen That's where I've gone astray sometimes in the past. Whenever I feel like I'm getting ready to do something, I feel God doing something in me or prompting me somewhere. But then I go out and I do it in a ham-fisted way. That the methods matter just as much as the as the intent.
Yeah.
And that is where I've seen people like myself get it wrong.
Yeah. I can relate to that for sure. For sure.
So that's why I like that one at the end.
Yeah. And isn't it funny that we have like an entire Bible of some fairly similar circumstances of people sometimes hearing very clearly God's will and discerning exactly what he wants them to do, and then doing it in a very messy human-like way. And so maybe a good point to land on is just despite our best efforts, because we can, we're not we're not God. We don't know everything.
Well, we want to help God do it faster.
Exactly. We like to make messes.
Abraham did it.
Yeah. Despite our own junk, God is still God, and God's will gets done regardless of how hard we fight it. But wouldn't you rather go along with it and understand what's happening a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that is a good spot to land it.
Yeah.
So if you've enjoyed this episode, please like, share, subscribe, all the things. That really does help us be able to get our message and what we're out here doing a lot, spread far and wide.
Yeah.
Leave us a review, and we will send you an after chat mug.
Yeah.
And we'll see you back here next week for another episode of the After Chat.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us for the After Chat. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To be the first to hear our next episode, be sure to hit the subscribe button and get notifications for new content. You can also follow us on social media on Instagram at PCC Wired and Facebook at Passion Community